So I've seen enough of these questions that I immediately recognize where they're heading with this. So for example, if you just call 3x is y, then this is our equation. And if I were to rewrite this as absolute value of 40 minus y, you'll note that if you look at the number line, and let's say this is 20, this is 40, and y is some number here, this is the distance between y and 20, and that's the distance between 40 and y. Either way, you can write it as that. And so as long as y is between 20 and 40, these two distances will always add up to the distance between 20 and 40, which is 20. So what this tells you, meaning the solution to that, is y is greater than 20, less than 40. And so these types of absolute value equations have been tested. I think I've seen several other examples. So make sure you understand where this comes from, the logic here. I mean, I've used geometry here. You could use algebra as well, but you'll get the same result. And now y is 3x. So our solution really is 40 over 3, which is 13 and 1/3. And here it is 6 and 2/3. So that's the solution. Now, they're asking necessarily whole, so I need to absolutely make sure that one of these inequalities will always make this true. So if you look at these answer choices, 10 and 15, 15 goes outside that, so that one is out. 9 and 14, 14, this limit here will go outside. And then 7 and 12 will fall between here. And so that's the answer. And 6 and 11, it goes to the left here. So that one is also out. Now, another way you could do this question is by plugging in examples. And I always recommend that you look at extremes. And of course, it will be more work because you might be testing here. But for example, you could plug in 14.9 and for x. And so if I were to do that, 3 times 14.9 minus 20. So that absolute value component, this first piece is 24.7. And the next one is 44.7 minus 40, which is 4.7. And you'll see these two do not add up to 20, and you can eliminate that. You can do the same thing here, use x equal to 6.1, and then 6.1 times 3, so that becomes absolute value of 18.3 minus 20 plus 18.3 minus 40. So this is 1.7, and then the other piece is 21.7, and you'll see these two do not add up to 20, so you can eliminate that. So a little bit of trial and error, but you will eventually get the answer. But just make sure you test kind of the extremes. That's typically how you can go about these questions. So to summarize, the answer is C.